The generals believed they could end us in one season. They were wrong. When summer came, the plains filled with soldiers. Cavalry columns moved like steel rivers, dust rising behind them, flags snapping in the wind. Supply wagons stretched for miles. Artillery followed close, black mouths pointed toward our world. They named it the Great Plains Campaign. To them, it was a map problem. To us, it was our home. The army split into multiple columns, advancing from every direction. They meant to corner us between rivers and hills, force us into one final stand. But the plains do not belong to straight lines. We watched them from afar, ridges, river bends, tall grass. Scouts rode silently for days, tracking every movement. We never met them where they expected. When they marched, we vanished. When they camped, we circled. When they slept, we struck. At a wide valley where grass rose as high as a horse's chest, a cavalry unit advanced too far ahead of its support. We let them. When the bugles sounded, warriors erupted from the grass like spirits. Horses screamed, riders fell before they could draw pistols. Smoke rolled low, trapped beneath the sky. The soldiers tried to form a line. There was no line to form. By the time reinforcements arrived, the valley was quiet again, except for the dead. Losses mounted, pride cracked. Officers stopped chasing shadows. They fortified hills. They dug in. They waited. Then they changed everything. They brought more scouts, native scouts. They armed them with rifles. They paid them to hunt us, brother against brother. And still the war spread. That summer, the largest gathering in memory formed along the rivers. Lakota, Cheyenne, Arapaho, warriors, families, elders, campfires stretching beyond the horizon. Drums echoed night after night. Visions were shared. Oaths were sworn. We believed the land itself stood with us. And, for a moment, it felt like we could win. But the army was already preparing its answer.
Victory makes men careless. Desperation makes empires cruel. By autumn, the army stopped trying to defeat our warriors. They aimed for something else. They waited for the cold. When the first snows fell, the campaigns resumed. But this time, the targets were not warriors. They attacked winter camps. They burned lodges. They destroyed food stores. They shot horses where they stood tied. They knew hunger. They knew cold. They knew children could break what bullets could not. At Frozen Creek, we fought back hard. Ambushes along narrow trails, sudden strikes against supply wagons. The army paid for every mile. But each loss hurt us more than it hurt them. They replaced soldiers. We buried fathers. They brought more rifles. We ran out of powder. Some bands broke away, seeking peace. Others surrendered to save their families. The camps grew smaller, the fires fewer. Still, some refused. We said, if this is the end, it will be on our feet. By late winter, the truth could no longer be hidden. The buffalo were gone. The land was ringed with forts. The army was no longer learning. They were finishing. This was no longer a war for territory. It was a war for survival. And somewhere ahead, a final stand was forming. A battle that would decide how this story would be remembered. Not as a victory, not as a surrender, but as defiance. We knew it was coming. The scouts returned one by one, their faces tight with the same truth. Columns were converging, from the north, from the south, from the east. There would be no slipping away this time. The final camp formed near the river where the land rose into broken hills. Warriors arrived carrying scars from every fight before. Elders prayed. Women packed what little remained. Children were told to stay close, always close. No one spoke of victory. We spoke of how we would be remembered. That night, the drums were slow. The songs were old. Each man painted his face knowing the meaning. The attack came at first light. Artillery thundered from the ridges. The earth shook as shells tore into the camp. Horses screamed. Lodges exploded into flame. Smoke swallowed the morning. We charged anyway. Rifles cracked. Arrows flew. Men fell on both sides. The army advanced in lines, disciplined, relentless. For every soldier who fell, another stepped forward. We struck their flanks. We countered their charges. We fought hand to hand when the smoke closed in. For hours, the valley became nothing but noise and blood. By midday, we were outnumbered and outgunned. Ammo ran dry. Horses collapsed. The wounded could no longer move. Some warriors broke through the encirclement, leading families into the hills. Others stayed behind, not because they had to, but because someone had to hold the line. I remember the moment clearly. The world narrowed, the noise faded, and all that remained was resolve. When the final charge came, we met it standing, not begging, not fleeing, standing. When the guns fell silent, the land looked wrong. Smoke drifted across broken ground. The river ran dark. The birds did not return. The army claimed victory. They raised flags. They wrote reports. They counted bodies. We buried our dead in shallow ground, marking graves with stones and memory. The survivors were marched away, some to reservations, others to places they had never heard of. Our weapons were taken, our horses gone, our camps destroyed. They said the war was over, but war does not decide what lives on. They did not kill the songs. They did not erase the stories. They did not break the bloodline. The children who survived remembered everything. The elders carried the truth in their words. And the land remembered us, even when fences came. The truth. They will teach this war as expansion, as destiny, as order. But we know the truth. We did not fight because we wanted war. We fought because surrender meant disappearance. We fought because hunger is a weapon, because treaties became lies, because to live on your knees is not life at all. This is where the battles end, but it is not where the story ends. As long as someone remembers, as long as these words are spoken, we are still here.